If you are interested in starting a podcast like us, Anchor is a great way to start. It's free, it can automatically distribute your podcast to other platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. You can record and edit directly on Anchor, and you can make money without any minimum requirements. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. This is why we chose Anchor as our first audio platform. Download the Anchor app or visit anchor.fm to get started. Again, download the Anchor app or visit anchor.fm to get started. Welcome back to the second episode of Law of Ball. We have expanded to audio platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor. Make sure to follow our Instagram and TikTok, both of which are at Law of Ball, to get previews, highlight clips, and updates regarding our podcast. Anyway, today is a very interesting episode as we have the playing game to review and playoff matches to discuss. So, I guess we'll just start with Thursday when the battles for the 8th seed with the Grizzlies beating the Bucks. So, what were your thoughts on that? They secured a playing spot.
I think we all really saw it coming. We knew that the Blazers were the strongest team vying for the 8th seed, and they're probably going to be a real big threat to the Lakers. I mean, I don't really think they're going to win, but I think they were better than the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone is thinking. Because I cannot see Ja Morant putting up a fight with the Lakers in the playoffs.
Yeah, but it was sad for the Suns and the Spurs. The Suns went 8-0 but missed, and then the Spurs' 22-year run ended on Friday.
Yeah, it was obviously bad for them. They should have just done eliminate conferences, 16 teams in, because the Magic did not deserve a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah. We all predicted Suns Blazers, but I guess we all knew that the Grizzlies were the more realistic choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the game of the bubble, the Blazers and Nets. What do you guys feel about Dame chipping in 42 and Karis LeVert putting up 37? But that step back game winner was a miss. Do you like that shot?
I didn't like the shot. I saw that live. I thought that was a bad shot to take. I honestly don't get why teams play ISO in their last play. Like Karis LeVert, you're not Michael Jordan. You're not Kobe Bryant. He's being closely guarded. Just pass the ball or maybe run an actual play. But you just went like ISO for the game. But I guess they didn't really have playoff implications. So I was kind of upset because I wanted the Suns to make the playoffs.
Herman, what did you feel about the Blazers' performance in that game to
Yeah,
secure the playing spot?
I really liked Karis. Even though he did miss the game-winning shot, I did like his performance. I'm watching his game. I like how he plays, but it's a shame the Nets didn't make it. Suns didn't make it. But
Yeah, it showed his ability to slash and hit layups and stuff.
Definitely, yes.
And then in the playing game, Ja Morant showed his ability to also slash. He dropped 35 or 37.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on his performance?
I don't really have any.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty not mediocre, but expected.
Yeah, also the Blazers with their 3 clutch buckets in a row. CJ hit a 3 in the mid-range.
Carmelo, yeah.
Clutch's
Very
backcourt
clutch
in the NBA.
Very clutch.
I think they have the clutchest 1 through 3 collectively.
That's what Alan was talking
sure.
about this. Alan was talking about this on the last episode about how clutch the roster is on the Trailblazers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So speaking of the Blazers, I guess we'll just start with the playoff predictions. Lakers Blazers are the first series of the West.
I have Lakers in 4.
Same.
I don't think that there's any contest. I think that Lakers, they're built different. LeBron has the lot to prove. He needs his 4th ring really badly, and they need to just take care of the Blazers quickly. Matchup wise, they don't have any answer for LeBron. They don't have any answer for AD. They have to play Melo on LeBron, which is a complete mismatch. LeBron is like an athletic beast. Melo's washed. He's clutch, but he's washed. And I think that backcourt-wise, obviously the Lakers are missing Avery Bradley, so the Blazers have somewhat of an advantage. Dame could go off for 50 points a game, but I think that it's not really in the realm of possibilities for the Blazers to win the series. They could take it to 5, 6 at worst. I don't see the Lakers losing.
Yeah, AD has struggled against Hassan Whiteside. I mean, has done well against Hassan Whiteside in their head-to-head matchups. I looked up their stats in their head-to-head matchups. AD's been averaging 30 and 10 over their 10 games against each other. The Lakers are gonna have a field day just because of the Blazers' lackluster defense. They couldn't even stop Luka, so there's no way they can stop LeBron and AD. And the Blazers have been swept 3 times in the past 3 years, so I think it could happen again this year.
Yeah, there's a reason that every single time Dame has to go off and it's a complete shootout every Blazers game. They're not a great defensive team. McCollum is not good at defense. Dame is not good at defense. Obviously, the Lakers don't really have an elite guard to send at them, but if you play LeBron in the backcourt, I don't really think that the Blazers can do anything.
Yeah, I don't see anyone on the Blazers stopping LeBron. Like, who's their best wing defender? Carmelo?
Gary Trent Jr. is too small to
Gary
put
Trent,
on LeBron.
for sure.
He's only 6'5".
They're gonna put Gary Trent on LeBron. Yeah,
he's gonna
get bodied. Yeah,
I just don't see it happening, man.
Yeah, I think this is the easiest series to predict for the West by far.
And
then next is the 2 seed Clippers versus the 7 seed Mavericks. They played their first game last night.
Yeah, very close game.
Yeah, Mavericks showed their ability.
Controversial. Yes.
Yeah, I still have Clippers in 5. I thought that was a close game, but I thought Luka gave everything he had, and he still just couldn't come out with a victory. The Clippers are too stacked. They got KD, they got Paul George. They're deep too. They have the most depth of any West team, in my opinion. And they got the best bench, the 6th and 7th men. They got Montrezl, and they got Montrez, and they got Lou Williams. So obviously scoring off the bench, I don't really think that the Mavericks can sort of counter that, because the Mavericks aren't a very clutch team and they're kind of top heavy with Luka and Kristaps.
I kind of disagree with you on Doncic being his best performance. He started off the game with 5 turnovers maybe in the first few minutes.
7 in the first quarter.
Yeah, which led to the Clippers to go on an 18-2 run, and I think he would definitely be able to.
Because they were locking him down, but he gave everything he had in the game. He didn't have his best game, but he was pretty high volume, and he was running the offense. But you're right. Yeah, he can probably have some better games.
In the second half, he was doing good.
Yeah. What do you think of the ejection?
Well, I want to say that I think Porzingis is going to be the Mavericks' best player because they have no one to put on him, realistically.
Mm-hmm. For sure, yeah.
Zubac thinks that
they can play Harrell against Porzingis.
The height.
There's a little bit of a size difference. Yeah, you're right.
There's a big height difference.
Kristaps' weight difference, though. I don't think that Kristaps can really body Montrez, but he's obviously more skilled and he's got a lot more of an offensive game. And I think if he can manage to keep his cool, he could be the X factor. But I still don't really see the scenario in which the Clippers don't win in 5. I think the Mavericks are going to take one game, though.
What do you think about Zubac's statement? He said that he can dominate against the Mavs.
I like the confidence. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But realistically, he's not going to average more than 10 and 10. I think that's his peak at this point. I have Clippers in 6, though. Herman, what do you have the Clippers in?
Clippers? I have Clippers in 5.
I have them in 6.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? So what do you guys think about his ejection? I thought it was soft. Both technical.
Yeah, this really. I think it's a trend to see NBA refs nowadays to be really lenient on the calls.
I mean, I thought it was pretty soft, but I don't think that Kristaps should complain that much. He got in his face. He just needs to keep his cool. Because even if he shouldn't have gotten ejected, you still have a chance for getting it teed up, and I don't really think that that's worth it. It's a close game. You can't lose that game for your team.
Yeah. He let his emotions get in the way.
Yeah, but I didn't like the first tech. He got a clean block, and they called a foul, so he was arguing against it. I don't think that's worthy of a tech. It's the playoffs. Yeah. Emotions are high.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, they definitely need to make a higher threshold for techs in the playoffs.
Also,
I think fouls in general, they need to regulate more.
Interesting, facts. The ref that ejected Kristaps also gave LeBron his only ejection of his career.
Yeah, the NBA loves LeBron too much.
All right, so Nuggets Jazz. That was like a game of the.
That's a great game. Yeah. Jamal
Yeah,
Murray played his
Donovan
heart
Mitchell
out.
shot 33 shots and his team still lost. Kind of reminds me of a little bit of like an inefficient scorer. High volume though. Obviously, he's got the alpha dog in him, almost like a Kobe reminiscent of him, but not really as like efficient. I don't see how the Jazz can get playoff success with Donovan Mitchell as like their alpha dog, but I think that it's probably Nuggets in 6.
Yeah, third highest scoring game in the playoffs ever in history.
Yeah.
And I think he
Mm-hmm.
did a great job. Put his team on his back, but Jamal Murray just came up in overtime, did his thing.
Yeah.
That 8-second violation was very crucial.
Mm-hmm.
They could have won up 6 and 7, but instead Jamal Murray came down and hit a 3. He hit so many threes in the last few minutes. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
The Nuggets are really solid right now. They got Jokic, Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. all going off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
Gary
Gobert
Harris and
was-
Harden both didn't play yesterday.
Gobert was not playing well
Yeah.
yesterday either.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He had some really bad passes in the overtime.
Yeah, Mike Conley's coming back though. He's back in the bubble. He just needs to go through quarantine protocol.
Yeah. I mean, he's not going to add that much, but he's still going to be like a good like defensive player and run the offense.
He's gonna help out Donovan Mitchell for sure.
Yeah, overall I have the
Mhm.
Nuggets in 5, but I think it's a competitive 5. But I just think the Nuggets can edge it out better than the Jazz.
Definitely.
Herman, did you give your prediction?
My prediction. I wrote it down. Let me check. I have the Jazz in 7.
Ooh, Jazz in 7.
So you think that Donovan Mitchell's going to keep going off?
Yes. Mike Conley, gonna help out. Hopefully, Bogdanovich.
They got to win. They got to win 4 of the next 6. That's a tall order for him.
Rudy Gobert needs to be more aggressive.
I can see it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
okay.
what was I gonna say? Paul Millsap. Interesting to know that Paul Millsap didn't play in crunch time. They played Jeremy Grant instead of Paul Millsap.
Is Paul Millsap a bad free throw shooter?
I don't think so. I think he just that particular game he wasn't like knocking down shots.
Yeah.
All right, so Thunder.
Because I've never really seen him as a liability, but so it's kind of odd.
Yeah, it was kind of weird for me. But I asked on the Nuggets like subreddit, and they're like, Jeremy Grant's like a better matchup in this particular game.
I'm gonna see that
So Thunder.
because they put their trust in Gobert to protect the paint, but that didn't really work out.
I think the Rockets are lucky they're in the bubble right now because Chesapeake Arena is like way more scary to play than Toyota Center.
Yeah. Who's the 4 seed technically? I know they're tied, but
I'm pretty sure the Thunder have the 4 seed,
Yeah, the
so
Thunder.
they would have home court advantage.
that's kind of rough.
Yeah, so I think.
If Russ was playing too, that would be different.
Mhm.
Adams is gonna dominate on the boards.
Yeah. He's been doing pretty good on the boards during the bubble.
Yeah, but throughout the bubble, the Rockets won a lot of games where they were like vastly out rebounded. Like I think that even if they like lose the rebound differential by like 15, 20, they could still pull out the win if they're efficient.
Definitely.
Also, Rockets were the 4 seed, but I don't think home court advantage plays out for them anyway because Toyota Center is worse.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I want to see how Harden's gonna do. He has bad playoff history, but maybe he'll be better in the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so. I sure hope so. It's been interesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You can go first.
It'll be interesting to see a CP3 and James Harden matchup.
Yeah, I think they're both motivated to beat the other one.
Yes.
Who's guarding Harden on the Thunder?
Damn, I put Shea on him for size.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you're right.
And Low Doris been doing pretty good too.
Because really, the Thunder, they just need to lock down Harden. If Harden's scoring like drops a 50 bomb, I don't think the Thunder are winning that game. They really just need to lock Harden down, play the mental game, hope he chokes, and because they can't run the offense through Westbrook at this point. I think that's the advantage of trading for Westbrook. I thought it was kind of smart what the Rockets did, because that way when Harden is not on, you could just have Westbrook run the offense and be able to lead the team.
So
Yeah,
what's your overall prediction for the series first?
I got Rockets in 7. I think that the Thunder are a great team that have a lot of depth, but I feel like the Rockets are really motivated to win, and I think their small ball has hope, but I think it's going to be a close 7.
Rockets in 6. Rockets in 6. I agree with what Cameron said, but I feel like that Harden offense is just insane. It's gonna be hard to stop.
Yeah, and he's hot right now.
Exactly.
Before I cut you off, do you have anything else to say, Herman?
No, sir. My bad.
Herman also, we're doing a playoff bracket tournament. And Herman chose the Rockets as the champions.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the Rockets.
Alan, what's your prediction?
I got Rockets.
Rockets in 7. Yeah.
If Westbrook played, I would have put it Rockets in 5 maybe.
Westbrook's coming back though.
Yeah, but still, I think they might struggle in the first few games.
Yeah.
Especially if Harden's like consistent struggle and the playoffs continue.
Yeah, honestly, I'd rather have Westbrook out the first few games than the last few games. Like, for instance, Rockets Warriors 2018 with Chris Paul. Because I feel like Harden, like, let's be honest, Harden's a choker. Harden does not perform well in elimination games, just statistically. I think that they really need Westbrook in those last games. So honestly, if I was their coach, Mike D'Antoni, I'd rest Westbrook as much as possible and wait till he's sure to come back. So he come back for maybe game 6, 7.
Yeah. I think the individual X factors for both teams are Steven Adams and Robert Covington.
Yeah. Rocco needs to perform really well for the Rockets to win, and Steven Adams is like the most pivotal piece of the Thunder in this series.
I definitely think he can do the job because in the bubble he's shown how he can do against Giannis, against AD. I can see him doing some stuff to Steven Adams.
I think he'll be fine on offense. It's just if like Harden can abuse him on defense, it could be a net negative.
Yeah.
And Rocco struggled in his first playoff appearance for the Sixers. He got benched for TJ McConnell against the Celtics.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that was a while ago, right?
We'll see what happens. Yeah, because he got traded to the Timberwolves not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, live from the podcast, we were doing Bucks and Magic. I had the Bucks sweeping the Magic 4-0.
Yeah,
the Magic just took game 1.
Magic took game 1 right now?
They just win?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They just won by 12.
Oh my god. Can you read me Giannis's box score?
Giannis was dominant, 31 and 17.
I think it was Chris Middleton.
31 17. Yeah, Chris Middleton's box score.
14, 6, and 4.
That's why.
Efficient?
No, 4 of 12 shooting and 2 of 6 from 3.
4 of 12 shooting, exactly. Because honestly, who are the Magic's biggest offensive threat?
Oh,
Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
35 and 14.
Evan Fournier didn't play that good either. He only had 9 points in 6 minutes.
Realistically,
I'm shocked.
Realistically, the Magic could have won by even more if Fournier showed up.
Yeah, James
right now.
Didn't get to that either.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bucks in 4, but obviously not. That's really bad. Do you know what this tells me though? This tells me Raptors or Celtics Eastern Conference champion. I don't see the Bucks. They're always perform well in the regular season. If they're gonna lose to the Magic, I don't see how they can pull through. However, last year's NBA champion, the Raptors, who's their that one Magic point guard? What's his name?
DJ Augustine.
The really short guy who got the DJ Augustine. DJ Augustine, when he hit that game winner against the Raptors, we all thought that like Kawhi's Raptors were gonna fail. When I think that was also the game 1 first round last year. So maybe Giannis is reminiscent of Kawhi and they pull through and win the chip. But I don't really think that it's that obvious.
Let me mention the Magic beat the Bucks without Aaron Gordon, Mo Bamba, or Jonathan Isaac. So that's pretty concerning.
Wow. Yeah, for sure. Are they getting Mo Bamba back? What's his injury?
I have no idea. I'll have to search that up.
Yeah.
DJ Augustine dropped a double off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a really bad sign for the Bucks. If they get upset, Giannis
it's a really bad sign. It's honestly like you can't lose to a team where like their most notable players are a guy from a song from 2018, like a 5'11" point guard, and then a bunch of players like nobody really's heard of, besides Vucevic, obviously. But the Magic are not a strong team. I said the Magic didn't even deserve a playoff spot.
And they beat
Yeah.
the Bucks.
Yeah.
I thought this was the most boring series too. I thought this and the Lakers series are gonna. I thought the Lakers series would be entertaining, but they'd both be sweeps.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Mo Bamba's out with COVID-19, actually.
Oh my God! Wow.
Well,
Good.
the defending champs Raptors against the
Yeah.
Nets.
Raptors versus Nets. I got Raptors in 5. I think the Raptors are a strong team. I think that the Raptors have depth. They work together as a team. Nick Nurse is an amazing coach. Defensively, I think they're the best defensive team in the NBA. You saw how they locked down LeBron. And I think that they're actually a threat. Them along with the Celtics, I got for the Eastern Conference champs.
Mhm.
It's obviously going to be one of them, but
The Nets have nothing to lose though. Like they have no pressure on them, so they can play freely.
Yeah, but I still don't see them. I still don't see them beating.
they also
them.
don't have a great motivation though. It'd be a different story if Kyrie, KD were playing, but they're obviously not. So
Yeah, that's true.
I don't
and
really
the
see the
defense,
Nets
the defense of the
performing well.
Raptors.
Yeah, they're going to lock down Karis LeVert. Whatever buzz he has right now, it's going to go away once teams figure him out. It's what happened with TJ.
Yeah, definitely. And the Raptors have a great backcourt for defense as well. I got Kyle Lowry. Van VanVleet's not that bad either. You
Yeah,
got
it's
OG.
interesting. Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet are both short, but they still lock up.
Mhm.
And also the Raptors.
What's your prediction?
I had them in 5.
Yeah, I had them in 5. Yeah.
I thought the Raptors were gonna drop game 1 per tradition.
Yeah.
Also, the Raptors are the first team in 46 years to have 5 players average 15 plus points per game.
Wow.
That's pretty. Who is it?
Pascal Siakam,
Cool stat.
Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, Norman Powell, and Serge
Oh,
Ibaka.
Norman Powell. I forgot about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Well,
Very underrated.
now it's the playoff tradition. It feels like it happens every year. The Celtics and the Sixers.
Yeah.
The
So
Celtics,
Celtics, Sixers.
Yeah, the Celtics used to dominate because of Al Horford. He could lock up Embiid,
Mhm.
But now the Sixers signed Horford just so they could have someone to lock up Embiid.
What was the score of the Celtics Sixers game again?
The Celtics edged it out 101.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch the whole game? Because I didn't. I only saw bits and pieces of it. What were your opinions?
I watched the last few minutes, and I told you guys this earlier, but they just can't get the ball to Embiid.
Oh, yeah.
And Embiid's not ready to pull through. I got Celtics in 5, honestly. I know Gordon Hayward's out recently, but I really don't think that he was that integral for the Celtics. How well the Celtics would perform. But I think it's also a little bit of Ewing theory potential, because if Gordon Hayward's out, that means that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are more free to do more on the offense as 3 and 4. And they can just have more space on the floor to create and perform well. So they might actually be better without Gordon Hayward, because Gordon Hayward was also sort of a defensive liability.
Well, I personally thought the Ewing effect might work in favor of the Sixers without Simmons, because they can play Burks or Shake Milton as PG, and they can space the floor much better than Simmons can. And if they can get the ball to Embiid, then I think that it could work out. But for Embiid or Brett Brown in the timeout, they just need to demand to get the ball to Embiid. Every time down, they need to be thinking Embiid first. Yeah,
because the Celtics can only send Tice at Embiid. I don't know why Embiid isn't dropping 40 a game and just bullying in the paint. He's 7'3".
Yeah, Tice did win Defensive Player of the Year overseas, but he's not good enough to stop someone like Embiid.
Definitely not. Has his size and reach advantage.
Kyrie, and as a Celtics fan, who do you think's better, Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum?
I have more trust in Jaylen Brown. He's way more consistent. He's really smart too for some reason. He's academically Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
He's some sort of genius.
The way he carries,
which is always a great sign. Yeah, for sure. And I see him on Twitter. He's a smart guy. I honestly feel like he's a better leader than Jason Tatum is. But Tatum's highs are higher than Jaylen's highs, and I think that Jaylen Brown's floor is better than Jason Tatum's floor.
Mm-hmm.
So one's more consistent, but I think one's more better.
If you want to someone to give you a bucket, for the final shot, I think you should trust Tatum more. But overall, I think Brown is more versatile. He's shown the ability to defend, slash, and shoot.
Yeah.
And play make better than Tatum.
Two very good wing players.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Celtics are lucky.
If I were the Celtics, I'm honestly mad they haven't traded Gordon Hayward. I've seen Gordon Hayward play a lot. I don't think he's the same player. I think that they should honestly just cut their losses and try to get whatever they can for him, and probably in the form of a center. They need a center. Tice is good. I like him a lot, but he'd be better off the bench.
Definitely. Their 2018 offseason went, or was it 2017 offseason where they got Hayward and Kyrie? That didn't work out at all.
Oh, for sure. At the time, I really liked both of them, but none of them worked out. I think that obviously they got rid of Kyrie, like, for the better, but they need to get rid of Hayward. How many years left does he have on his contract? You know?
I think he has 2 more years left.
Yeah, get rid of him while it's, like, not expiring. He's playing, like, $30 million a year, just kind of a waste on the cap. He doesn't contribute that much.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how Brown is so smart and he had to play with Kyrie Irving of all people.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So you had Celtics in 5, right, Kyron?
Yes.
Herman, what do you have?
I have Celtics in 6.
Me too. So next is, I think, the most competitive series in the
Yeah, it's probably the most competitive series in the East.
So it's the TJ Warren, Jimmy Butler storyline for a 7-game series.
It's also the most interesting. I think that Jimmy Butler's going to come, like, a lot better than TJ Warren, but yeah, I don't think TJ Warren has what it takes to go against Jimmy Buckets.
Are the Pacers going to put Victor Oladipo as a number 1 option?
For sure. He's not who he used to be, but he's clutch. I think that'd be smart.
Oladipo's not playing that well right now, though.
Mm-hmm. I like Malcolm Brogdon for the Pacers. I wanted the Warriors to draft him in 2016.
Yeah, he's turned out pretty good for them.
So what are your predictions?
Heat in 6.
Heat in 7 for me.
Same, Heat in 7. I don't think there's a way for the Pacers to actually edge it out against the Heat. We talked about the Heat last episode. They're just too dominant.
Mm-hmm.
So we went through the entire bracket, but do you guys have, like, anything else you want to talk about, like, general, like, predictions for the future of the playoffs?
Who's your champion coming out of the East? I'm kind of curious.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Who do you have coming out of the East?
I wanted to say Bucks.
Yeah, I don't really think it could be the Bucks anymore. I had the Bucks too. I just thought that matchup-wise, they'd beat the Raptors, they'd beat the Celtics. Honestly, like, as a fan, I really want to say that the Celtics will win and they'll come out of the East and win the chip, but I think that the Raptors are honestly the best bet, and I think they're going to lose to whoever comes out of the West.
Yeah, I think the Raptors are going to come out the East.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to ask some, like, general questions. Where do you rank Dame Lillard in terms of, like, point guards now? Is he number 2 behind Steph?
Yeah, number 2. I think no way he can be number 1. Steph changed basketball. He's the best point guard, undoubtedly. He's a top 6 player in the NBA. But Dame's number 2, like, for sure.
The way he carries the Blazers and the recent performances he's put, I think he secured that number 2 spot.
Yeah, he's alpha.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's good for playoff storylines, honestly. We covered all the matchups.
So you want to end it here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
All right,
guys.
Thanks for listening.
This is a shorter podcast in less time, but we got through the whole first round of the playoffs. And, yeah, we have our own playoff bracket tournament, which we all just missed the one series, Bucks, Magic. But, yeah, tuning and next episode will be around early next week, probably, as we move on to either a more competitive first round or early second round.
All right. Okay.
Thank you for listening.
All right. See you guys next time.